Hey, it's Melissa here with Web of Creativity, and this is the construction video for the Library of Memory Albums project. So this video, I'm going to show you how we assembled this box, which is a Graphic 45 book box made into a stand to hold these two cute little mini albums. And then we're going to show you how to make both of these albums are identical, so I'm going to show you how to make one of these albums with the covers, the pages, and how to mat them. So this is a full video for everything for construction, and I do sell kits for this and written tutorials all on my blog and www.webofcreativity.net, and all the links are below. So I'm going to switch camera views so I can show you the inside of the albums. So I'm going to quickly show you these two mini albums because I already did a preview video which goes through both albums, or you can, at the end of this construction video, I also show all the pages and stuff. So real quick, we got the album for this project that we're going to show you. I'm going to show you how to make the cover and the pages and how I matted. So this is popped up. We got some corners, some flowers, and a keyhole. So the flowers is actually a heartfelt creation die called Classic Rose, and I use this little, the smallest set to make these cute little roses. And then the other die set that I used is a Sizzix Thinlit die. I use this rose pattern and then this corner pattern, and this is mixed media number 5. So we're going to open this up. And so we first got this pocket for an ATC tag. So I have kits that come with everything, including these tags. I'm going to open right up and you can see where I use that die. And then the back side, pull out another tag, and then we have this accordion flap. And then this is the second die that I use, that corner die. So this construction, we're going to go through how we're going to start with the cover, and then we're going to do the pages and matting the pages and then attaching them to the album. And at the end of the video, I'll go through all the pages of both albums so you can see what I added for embellishments, which are usually just the stickers, and how I matted all of the pages and the tags. Alright, so there we go. 2 albums. They're super cute, super fast, and fit adorably into this box. And we'll go over how to make, how to assemble the box and then matting it and everything. So let's get started. We're going to work on the cover. So the cover requires 3 pieces of chipboard, 2 for the front and back cover, and 1 piece for the spine. And then we have 2 sheets of cardstock, black. And all the dimensions and material guide and cutting guide is on my tutorial on my blog. So go check that out. Alright, so we're going to use the larger sheet of the cardstock. We're going to start with the spine piece. And we're going to lay it on the edge, flush, 3/4 inches from the top and the bottom. So I'm going to turn my paper sideways so I can use my ruler to measure my 3/4 from the top and bottom. So I'm just removing my tape from my spine piece. And then I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive using my ATG. I'm not looking for the middle, I'm just looking for my 3/4 inch mark at the top and the bottom. I'm going to make my piece flush. And I'm getting my spacer, which is 2 pieces of chipboard. And I'm going to lay that next to my spine piece and put my cover piece right next to it, even at the top and the bottom. So I'm just making it line up at the top and the bottom. Flip it over and use my bone folder, and I'm just going to run it over the paper to give it a good stick. Setting that one aside and bringing out our next one. And for the back cover, we're going to attach it 3/4 inches from the edge, top and bottom. So again, I'm going to turn my paper sideways so I can use my ruler for that 3/4 inch. From the side, the top, and the bottom. It looks like it's more than 3/4. It sure is. It's a whole inch. Alright, so I corrected, and this is now 3/4 inches, and I used my trusty spatula that I got from, this is a Cricut spatula, but usually any of those machines has tools like that. Okay, so we need some tape. I'm going to add some tape to the edge, opposite edge of that 3/4 inch. So we're going to do it right on that edge. And then we're taking our piece with the spine, flipping it over and doing it on the spine edge flush. So it's on that spine edge right there. And then we're going to attach it using the spacer. All right. Oops. Lining it using my spacer. Lining it from the top and bottom. And then attaching. Alright, there we go. Step 1 done. Alright, next I'm going to use my bone folder that I score with, so it could be your scoring tool, and just score around the edges of the chipboard. This of course is optional. I just think it helps when you're folding the edges over the edge. Alright, I'm going to get my craft cutting mat, and my craft knife, and I'm going to cut the edges off. The corners off, not the edges. So on a Tim Holtz ruler, that first notch right after that metal edge is the 1/8 mark. So you want 1/8 inch from the corner of your chipboard. So 1/8 from the corner, and then we're going to cut out an angle. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to add our tape around the edges, skipping the gaps between the cover and the spine. next we're going to fold in the short edges first. And I'm just finger rolling. You can also pick up your album and roll the edge like so. Or you can take a flat end of a bone folder and rub the edge with your bone folder. Or do all three. So first we're going to just attach the short sides. When you're attaching, you want to start from the middle and go outward. Alright, then we're going to tuck in the corners before we attach the other two sides. So taking bone folder or your scoring tool or your fingernail, whatever you have, to just press that against the edge of your chipboard and flatten that out. So again, attaching from the center, going out. Then I'm going to run my bone folder on the sides, skipping the gaps between the spine and the front covers, the front and back covers. Okay. Run against the edge, just jump those spaces. You can also use your finger. You're just kind of flattening that edge out to get it smooth. Okay. Now we need to cover the inside. Before we add our inside cover, we're going to add our tape. So our tape, we're going to do the edge right out on the inside cover. We're going to stop short about a ½ inch at the top and bottom. Then we're going to do the spine edge. Now we do this on both sides of that spine edge, so when you fold your guy in, that paper is going to stick there instead of bubble. If there's no paper here, with this edge and folding, the inside paper will bubble up. So we want to make sure it stays down. So I'm going to do edge to edge, and then we're going to add our tape to the middle spine area, and we're going to cover that pretty good, because this is where our heaviest part of our album is going to be, because this is where all our pages are. So we want to make sure this sucker is down. Alright, I'm using, this is 3/8 inch tape, and the tape I was using was ½ inch tape. Okay, then with our inside cover sheet, we only need one piece. I'm going to add tape around the edges. remove my tape backing. And I'm going to actually add some more adhesive to just the center part of the front and back cover. And removing my tape. Okay, so this guy is going to get attached, centered, and it's going to be a 1/8 inch border all the way around. Okay, I like to hold where the crease is going to be and slowly bring in my cover. This helps that paper fold, and I'm stretching it. So I'm just trying to move slowly. All right, that is our first cover, and then we need to work on the pages. All right, we're going to work on our pages. So everything's already been cut and scored, and those directions are on the tutorial, which you can get on my blog. So we're going to start off with the main page first. So the main page, your largest piece just has one score, and that just gets folded. That's it. So our next piece has 2 tabs on the end. So we're going to fold on the score line. And then we're going to taper the corners, cutting at an angle from the score line and up. So from the score line, cut at an angle. You don't want to cross that score line. Then we're going to add our tape to the tabs. And then I'm going to fold it under again and run my bone folder on that edge just to get it to flatten out. Alright, so for your main page, we have the long side and the short side. The short side is just a little short. So this is the front. We want to attach this guy to the back. So we're going to attach to make a pocket. So I'm removing my tape backing. Then I'm going to line up my edge flush to the edge of the album, the main page. And even at the top and bottom. So that's our pocket and how we're going to attach our page to the binding. Okay. Next we have our next 2 sheets, which is for the front cover. So for the biggest piece, we're going to need to trim a part off. So you see we have this 1/2 inch tab and this 1/2 inch tab, but one of them needs to be trimmed just up to the bottom part score line. Let me get my cutting mat, ruler, and craft knife. And I'm going to cut from the bottom score line right down the side. See, there's a score line right there. And then I'm going to trim it off at an angle. You can use your craft knife or you can use your scissors. And we're going to cut at an angle. Then we're going to taper the rest of the corners. We're going to taper this guy. So I'm cutting from that score line. And then we're going to taper where the score is, this bottom score line. So I'm going to cut at an angle right up to that score line. Cut the other side at an angle. And then just make that little notch. So now I'm going to fold my bottom portion tabs in, and I have that bottom score line I'll fold up. It's going to attach for my pocket, and I want my long tab on the side to be on the right side. So I'm going to add tape. So I'm going to attach this little guy first to make a pocket. Then I'm going to fold my last tab and add my tape to it. Alright. So I have made my little pocket and have this little tab, and before I attach it to my main page, I'm going to add another little pocket, which is this guy. So this guy has 3 score lines, one on the right side, one on the left side, and one at the bottom. So I'm going to fold on all the score lines. I'm going to taper those corners. And then I'm going to, for the bottom 2 corners, act like this little square piece in the middle is not there and just taper it, or you can just cut it at an angle as long as it doesn't pass over those score lines. So now I have those corners cut. I'm going to add my tape. And then what I like to do is fold my pieces over and give it another score, or not a score, another rub with the bone folder. So I'm going to fold in my 2 side pieces first and remove the tape. I'm going to fold up my bottom tab and then remove the tape and attach my pocket evenly to the bottom and side. So I have another little pocket, and then I'm going to do my bone folder one more time to get it stuck to the page. So I got 2 little pockets here and my tab. So I'm ready to attach my tab to my front cover. So I'm attaching the tab. I'm going to open this up and attach it to the right edge and the bottom. Flush. So I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see it. I'm going to attach it to the side. have it attached to the side and flush to the bottom. So this closes first and then this guy. And then a little Graphic 45 artist trading tags. Fit perfectly in this little pocket. How cute. Alright, so then we need to work on the back side. Clean up my mess a little bit. Okay, so our back piece, I have two pieces. So we're going to start on the pocket piece. So just like we did for this inside little pocket, this is the same thing but larger. So we got 3 scored edges. So I'm going to fold on the score lines. Add tape to our tabs. Fold my tabs in to run my bone folder. Flip it over. I'm going to remove my tape backing from the 2 sides first. Fold the bottom. So I'm going to take my page and flip it over to the back side. I'm going to attach my pocket to the bottom flush and even to the both sides. Our next piece, we have 1 score line at the bottom, and that's for our tab. So we're going to fold it, trim it, and add our tape. Then we have a score line in the middle. So the middle one piece is going to get folded in the opposite direction of your tab. So we're going to fold it over. Make sure it's even. So it's opposite of the tab. And then we're going to attach to the top centered between the top and the pocket, which is about, well, I think it's about 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch or a little bit smaller. So we're just going to center it the best we can. You can make it flush to the top if you want as well. I'm going to center it to the right edge of the page. Attach that guy down. And then we're going to put our tag in there. So I cut a tag for the back. The tags for the front are the Graphic 45 tags, or you can make your own. I'll have directions for tags that'll fit in this pocket if you don't have the Graphic 45 ones. And then our other tag will go in our pocket hole. There we go. And that's it. That's our page, and I have 4 per album, and for this project I have 2 albums. They're identical. So next we need to work on is decorating and matting. we're going to work on our cover. So I'm gonna, we have our ribbon closure, so we're gonna attach that first. And so I'm just gonna find my middle and go about 1 inch up. Just cutting me a piece of tape. So I'm just gonna go about there. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Cut me a piece of tape. Okay. And now that that's done, alright, so I cut all my pieces. So we have 3 pieces for the front cover, that's stocks, 2 pieces for the middle, and then 1 piece for the back. So we're going to go ahead and attach these guys first to each other. Just a reminder, all measurements are on the tutorial that can be found on my blog, www.webofcreativity.net. Alright, so this one's going to get attached in the middle. Nope. I'm going to turn it so I can see it a little bit better. Okay. And then he's going to get attached to this guy. Add some extra ATG. And that's our front. Go ahead and attach. I'm going to have a 1/8 inch border. So I'm removing my tape backing. I'm going to add a little extra ATG tape to this guy. Remove the tape from the ribbon. Okay. And okay. Then attach our spine. Add some extra adhesive. And he's gonna go right in the middle. There we go. And attach this one to the center. And then last, our back piece. Add some more ATG. So for the front cover, actually we're going to do the spine first. So for the spine guy, I'm going to go ahead and tie this guy shut. Alright, so for my spine, I have this little chipboard piece that I'm going to turn instead of this way, like it's supposed to be. I'm going to turn this way. I have me a keyhole, but for the whole part, I'm going to have this little piece right here. So I'm going to put him down first. And get me some tape. Wrong tape. I'll get this tape. I'm going to tape this piece on. Add some tape. Actually, I'm going to hold off on adding the bottom tape because I'm going to put some brads in there first. So I'm going to tape. I taped my little keyhole piece. I'm going to put. I have short brads, so they're not long-legged. So I can put this guy right on here. Where's my brad opener tool? So when the legs are short, it doesn't pop over the edge of your piece. I'm just arranging my brad just a bit to get it in the center of my circle. Or trying to, anyway. Okay, there we go. There we go. Get my second brad. The tool I'm using is We Are Memory Keepers pokey tool. Okay. So I'm going to hold, because he's moving around, I'm going to hold him while I put some tape on there. So I think I'm going to, let's see, yeah, that'll work. So again, I'm just going to hold my little brad in place because he's swimming around a little bit. Add my tape. I'm just going to keep going with it before I finish. Brad's just not cooperating here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright, so I got my brads tape covered back. Then I inked the edge of my chipboard with some black soot, and I'm going to attach them right there. And I'm going to add, because I'm keeping that one piece of tape down for paper, so I'm going to add just another little piece right there before I attach it. There we go. Then I'm going to attach them to the middle of my chipboard piece. I don't have a good angle in the camera. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to attach him to my spine. I already added tape to the back of my chipboard piece. I'm just removing my tape backing. I'm going to attach him to the center. I'm going to measure, I'm going to get him about, let's see, center, center, center. I love my Tim Holtz ruler. It tells me where my center is. There's my center point. Make sure I'm straight. Well, that looks good. Oh, it's coming together. So if I wanted, I can put some decorative paper down here, or put some flowers, or just leave it like that, because this looks good. For my front, I got some Graphic 45 new corner pieces, so I'm going to attach them to the corners here. And then I made some cute little roses, so I'm gonna have those. And then I did like a little, I cut this guy out again, so I'm gonna put him some pop dots. But I'm gonna do these corners off camera, because I'm gonna have to hold them for a little bit, make sure they get stuck down. And I'm gonna use some of the E6000 glue, so you guys don't need to watch me while I hold it down. So instead, we're going to move on to working on the pages. But we got this guy started. Alright, so here's our page, and we are going to attach our magnet. I'm just holding it right there, attaching my magnet. So I'm going to get some tape. I'm just going to cut me a piece off and measure where my magnet's going to go. So I'm going to want about here, about there. Okay. Then I'm going to place my second magnet on top. I'm going to add a piece of tape. I'm going to actually put a piece of paper in between. Take my tape off and close my page. Flap pocket. Perfect. Then we're going to add our tape. There. Now we got that magnet closure to keep that nice and tight. And time to match. So I already cut out all of my pieces. Move that to the side. Move that to the side. I cut out all of my mats. So, and sit outside. I inked everything in There we go. So for the tag, Graphic 45 has a die that has this little ATC matte tag. So this guy is to cut your mats out for your tag. So I've cut out 2 already. And it just slides right on there with a perfect, cute little border. So Graphic 45 has the tags for their ATCs and for their large tags and for their square pocket tags. So they got these matte dies for all of their tags. So you never have to worry about it. Already cuts the circle out. It's perfect. So I already cut them out for my tags. Let me put that to the side real quick. So, and I'm going to remove my 2 tags that are outside. For my pocket here, I have so this mat is going to slide down just a bit inside the pocket to give us a good, that's hard to see, to give us a good little border there. And then we're going to attach this guy right there. So I made it pretty easy. I've already cut my pages. I've inked them with Black Soot Distress Ink by Tim Holtz. And I've added my tape. So I'm going to slide this guy in just a smidge. Okay, so I have it for a 1/8 inch border. Then I cut out an extra little mat for the bottom pocket here. And this one is a 1/4 border. And then for my back side, I got these cute piano keys. And they're the same size mat as the front. Adding some ATG. Oops. Removing my tape backing. So this front mat, I cut a little strip out for the edge. It was in the paper collection. This, of course, is optional. You don't have to do that. I didn't do that for all of my mats. Did I? Some of that ink didn't show up. Hold on, let me ink some more of this edge. So I'm just going to make this right up against that edge flush. I think I'm going to start at one edge before I mess up. Just a little something extra I wanted to add. Just because I wasn't sure if I was going to add anything, any embellishments on this page, since there is the pocket page in front of it. So it just gives it a little something extra. This is going to have the 1/8 inch border. And the page is coming together. Alright, so for the inside, I happen to get a new die. It's Sizzix Thin Lit Tim Holtz. So it has these 3 pattern dies inside, and it is called Mixed Media number 5. Alright, so these are really cool. So I cut out this rose one, since this has paper has some really cute roses on it. I put it on my inside mat and cut it out and attached it. I'm going to attach it. So I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to leave it like this with the black showing through. But in some places, I think I'm going to add like a back to it just to have a different color pop through. But I do like the black for this paper because this already has some red in it. So I'm going to leave that one like that. This corner piece, which reminds me of the corner, the Graphic 45 corners, I used on the back side of this, which I'll show you later, I cut out just a little bit, and it just gets attached like this on the side. Just gives it a little something extra, and that black showing through on this goldish paper is really pretty. So just adding a little extra flair, I guess you'd call it, to my album. I just thought they were cute. The other die, which I don't think I'm going to use, I did get, oh, did that have the price tag on it? Sorry about that. I went to Hobby Lobby today. Sizzix Thin Lit Tim Holtz stars. These are really cool. This is Swirling Stars. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. The Swirling Star is big for this album, but I really like it. It's really pretty. I can't wait to use it. I may or may not use it for this album. I haven't decided as I'm working on my pages. So, oh. Alright, I'm gonna oops, right side up. Alright, for this guy I need to get some glue. I need to glue my edge right here. Alright, so I got my glue that I don't want to stick my fingers in, so I'm going to turn this sideways. Get you attached. There we go. Tags. Oops. This is, I'm going to use a little bit of glue on this one as too. You got that top little edge right here that's a little thin. So when you're attaching the mat to the tag, I always start at the top right here above the eyelet. And as long as it's down around the circle of the eyelet. Okay, I'm going to put the red one on the inside. And I'm going to put piano keys on the outside. Oh, how cute is that? And there's my tag. Oh, where's it? Then I have this tag. This sticks out just like that. Okay, I'm going to shove him back in and work on the back side. Clean off my spot. Okay, so we got that piece. Alright, so this is a tag. Then our next piece, extra ATG. It's too hard to see. I need, nope. There we go. Okay, just trying to figure out where the top is. Perfect. Then I'm going to open my accordion up, attach my other piece. And this is where I have my cut edge. Originally I had it for this side. I thought that would have been cute, but this is where my tab is attached. So I'm going to turn it this way. And this guy also gets tucked in just a little bit in the pocket. So he's going to be like that. Oh, that's so cute. Maybe like a little sticker here. Okay, I need to add some glue to this frilly stuff. So let me remove some of my tape that I already have. That's just, let me get a close up. That's just a really cute, just put it about almost any direction. Even on like a little corner cutout. You can't see that. Like a little corner cutout. So that's cute too. I should have done that. Where's my glue? My glue. This one's going to be fun to glue. Okay. Hot glue is just not my favorite. Alright. And then I'm two more mats. So these guys that I have are just solid color. mats. So I might get like some patterned paper and just do like a little strip all the way across. That would probably be cute. Alright, there we go. So that's, it's cute. And then I still gotta mat my tag. I think I'm gonna wait until the end of after I decorated all my pages before I mat my inside tag and my backside tag. But that's it so far. How cute. Alright, moving on. For the binding of this album, there's 2 pieces, and they're going to get scored, so you have this 1/2 inch tab. Now this binding system is Laura Dennison Designs, and it's called Stack the Deck. It's my favorite. Alright, so for both pieces, we're just going to fold on a score line, both sides going the same direction. I'm going to do that for both pieces. And then we're going to taper the corners. Which is cutting from the score line up at an angle. Alright, then we're going to add tape to the inside section, flush to the edge. So my tape, I'm using 3/8 inch tape. So I'm doing it flush because I want to leave a little extra space between the tape and the score line. So we got a little bit of extra space. And we're going to do that for both sides of the tab. Alright, now we're going to flip over and do the opposite side. Flush to the edge. And I'm going to add tape to the middle section. And I'm going to use my 1/2 inch tape. I'm going to cover that whole piece right there. And it's going to be right in between those score lines. Alright, so one side is fully covered and the other side is just the tabs. So we're going to repeat and do the same thing with the larger binding piece. Okay, then we want to cover in between the score lines this whole section here. So I'm going to grab my 1/2 inch score tape again. I'll do this side. And let me see if my 3/8 inch will fit right in the middle of that. Perfect. Alright. Then next we are going to attach this guy, just this middle section here, not the tabs. We're going to attach it right in the middle of this guy, centered. So I'm going to grab my ruler, remove my tape backing, and stick that there. Oh. Attach that right in the middle. I'm going to turn this guy around and make sure when I lay it down, it'll be also in the middle. There we go. Perfect. There we go. So now we have 4 tabs sticking up where our pages will slide on, and it's evenly spaced. Alright, before we attach our binding, we need to cover our inside. So I cut out some mats, and then I got one for the centerpiece. It's not necessary. This can fit just fine with the black background, but I thought a little bit of extra pop of that light color would be pretty. So all I did was cut ink, and I'm going to tape, and then add some extra ATG. Add some extra ATG. Okay. Alright, now we can add our binding. Alright, so we're going to attach our binding to the center. So that's going to be about 1/8 of an inch down. And then I just close this, see how straight it is. And then once I like it, I use my bone folder and give it a good rub. Make sure this isn't going anywhere, since that's where our pages are going to attach. Alright, so for our pages, we got the pocket. Let me take out the tag that I still need to mat. We have our open pocket, goes all the way through, and we're going to slide it right on our first tab. And you know, we left some of that space, so when we attach this guy, we're going to leave some of that space still so our page can move back and forth. So just remember that we don't want it to attach it completely flush to the board. We want it to have that bit of space showing so it can freely move back and forth. Alright, I'm going to remove tape. Okay, so we're going to slide our page onto the tab. So we got that space. Oh, and I pulled it out. Trying to show you. There we go. So we do have that space showing right there. And then the back side, that's our first page. And all the rest get attached the same way. Oh, let's see, is my tag in this guy? Yep. Remove my tag. So I'll attach one more, and then the rest I will attach off camera. You don't need me to attach all of these guys. So I'm going to slide it. I usually test it before I slide it on there, but that's all right. Before I remove the tape, to make sure everything works. And my tape keeps catching on my back side. All right. Oh. There we go. All right, page 2. Okay, so I'll attach the rest of these pages and then we can decorate the album. We are going to be working on the box portion of the project first. So I already have my pieces cut out. Now the box gets fit straight. So what we have is a support piece that I cut out. We're going to put that on the back of the box, and then I cut out a piece and the mat that's going to cover it. Then for the inside piece, I have a black mat, and then my second pattern paper mat that's going to get attached, and then we're going to attach the box to that. And then I cut out the piece for the bottom of the box, and then have my pieces that line the box. Then I have my pattern paper that's gonna line the front. These pieces are gonna line the sides. Then I have my accent piece, and then I have a little metal door handle, antique door handle that we're gonna put on the front. So I've already cut all my pieces and added my tape, inked my edges with black soot. So I'm going to start with attaching my paper, my two papers together. I end up, got some black on my desk there. Probably some black soot ink. Okay, so I'm going to attach this, and this one is going to be, it's going to have about a 1/4 inch border, just to get that nice black edge border in there. And then we're going to attach to the box, and that's going to be about a 1/8 inch border. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that. And with this one, I'm going to add some extra adhesive. I'm using my ATG. Just going to give a couple of strips there. And line up. Okay. So then I have my accent. It's this is kind of a lightweight chipboard, not the thickest piece, but you can use medium weight chipboard as well. I just needed a little extra support. I do have the cardstock holding it. I just, as a precaution, I've never done this before and I didn't want to mess it up my first try, so I'm going to go ahead and add my support piece. I added extra tape to it as well. So we're going to go ahead and flip that over. See, it's staying pretty good without the support piece. But it's going to be there for a while. I want to make sure. So it might not even need it, but I like my precautions first. Okay. And it's on the back, so nobody actually is going to see the back. There we go. So now we got a straight back. Okay. And then just taking the tape off of my mats. And of course, all the dimensions for everything is on the tutorial for the box. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, oh, there we go. I'm going to add some adhesive specifically to this piece. All right, so I got my extra adhesive. I'm not sure how I want to hold this. That looks about right. All right, now I got that back done. And I'm not going to attach it just yet. I have some pieces that are going to wrap around that edge. So this guy, he's going to wrap around. And then we're going to need to wrap around with this guy. Just checking how much. Yeah, I'm going to wrap around this guy about 1 inch on the back side. So we're going to start with that piece first. And I'm not worried about it lining up. It's going to overlap. It's hard to see it anyways because it is a very busy paper. But I'm probably going to put a piece, something decorative right there. So I'm not really worried about it lining up too much. Making sure this isn't the piece for inside the box. Okay, and then I'm going to add, of course, my extra ATG. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to add a little pencil mark because I'm going to go ahead and put it about 1 inch. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I did add that inch mark. And I'm going to want to center. So it has a little bit of spacing at the top and bottom. I'm going to go ahead and, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that inch again. Moving my tape backing, add some extra adhesive. That's looking good. Okay, so then we're going to attach our front piece. So we have that border at the top and the bottom, and then round the edges. So I'm going to measure just to get Again, it don't have to be perfect because we have those sides pieces. But I do want to get my ruler so I can be close. Oops. Alright. Gonna add one strip of ATG down the center of my paper. Okay. Oh, that looks good. Right like that. And then wrap it around, try and match it with the first piece. Oh, looks good. Alright, let's see if this one will. Alright. Looks good. Alright, then we got cut out a strip of red for the front, and I want to put a little handle right there. So I'm gonna put my handle on first. So I just need to figure out the center. And I shook it. All right. I'm off camera a little bit. I'm just drawing my circles, making sure I am all lined up. So I used my pencil and colored in my little holes right there, so I know where to put my brads. And actually, before I move it off, I'm going to measure to make sure I am right. I'm a little off, just a smidge. Okay, perfect. Alright, so then, let me zoom back out. I'm going to use my pokey tool. We are memory keepers. I don't know what it's called, but I call it a pokey tool. It has a little poke on the end, so I can poke my paper for where I'm putting my brad. There we go. Got my little brads here. Alright. Oh. Alright, that's gonna look good. Okay. So, after I get my brads pushed down, I'm gonna go ahead and add some more tape over the brads. Just gonna go ahead and give it a full strip here. Make sure they're stuck down. Okay. And all right, sorry about that. Let's okay, I'm going to eyeball about where I want it. There we go. Now you can make this piece go all the way around, or go about where we did for this piece. I didn't do that. I wanted to do this, and then on this side where that seam is, I'm going to put, you know, there's chipboard pieces and stickers to this collection, so I'm going to put something here. And then for this guy, we'll have something else to decorate the front for it. So we're going to go ahead and work on the inside. So we got the inside pieces already cut. Slide right on in there. So we got the inside done. Alright. So then we got, boy, I can't, oh, I'm gonna have to stand up for this. And not see. Alright. Alright, there we go. And then we need to add our tape so we can attach our back right there. Oh, no, I'm off, but I needed to use my chin to hold the box up. There we go. Alright, so then we're going to do this top part right here. And then this middle part right here. And then we got it all taped up with a couple of wrinkles, but it'll work. Okay, so then we're just gonna set it down. We got our box coming together. Okay, so this is the end of the video, and I'm going to show both of the albums, all the pages in the box, and go through any little details that I added. So for the box, the details that I added were just these cute little roses right here, and then this cutout piece, and I backed it with black paper from the collection. So that was it for the box. I decided not to put anything here because it just flowed, but chipboard piece or cutout would work perfectly for that spot. So album number 1, we got the metal corners. I pop dotted this piece right above the same image. So I got that there. Chipboard and the keyhole, and then the flowers. So the flowers, which I already showed in the video, but I'm going to show again, is a Heartfelt Creations Classic Rose. Just that little guy right there. And so going through all the pages, so I got the piano, just added a little sticker there. Added border piece. I do like the little border pieces that I added on the page. This is a cutout from the collection. Now for this corner die, which is right here, what I did to create that is I just used about I think 1 3/4 inch of the corner and placed it on the paper and ran it through my machine. So I only did part of that corner. And I didn't use the rose die on all of my pages on the inside, especially the ones that are a little bit busier. Cut out from the collection. And then the rose die, it doesn't have an edge for cutting, so it's just that shadow that cuts out, which is, I think, is awesome. So it's really easy just to cut out of your mat to give you a little bit of extra. And then if this blends too much, you can just add a piece behind it to make it pop, like the solid red cardstock. You can definitely do that. So I added a colored cardstock behind this one to make this design pop out, since this is black and the paper's black. So I wanted it to show better. Then I added a couple flowers and cut out pieces, and that's for album 1 and album number 2. Did the same thing for the front, cut out a piece and pop dotted it on the same image. Added my roses, my metal corners, keyhole, and chipboard. We got our tag, that border, I love this striped paper. This black striped is perfect, I think, for backgrounds. Alright, that is the end of album number 2. Again, all of the the tutorial and the kits, I have videos for both. The links are below. You can purchase them on my blog at www.webofcreativity.net. And that is our library of memory albums. Thank you for watching.